Conspiracy of Silence film. Conspiracy of Silence is a British drama film set in Ireland and inspired by real events. The film challenges celibacy and its implication for the Catholic Church in the 21st century. Written and directed by John Deery, the cast includes Academy Award winner Brenda Fricker, Hugh Bonneville, Chris O'Dowd, John Lynch, Jonathan Forbes, Jason Barry, Sean McGinley, Fintan McKeown, Jim Norton, and Hugh Quarshie. The movie won many international awards, including the U.S. National Board of Review of Motion Pictures Freedom of Expression Award in 2004, which it shared with Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11 and Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Deery was also nominated for Best Film Director at the Irish Film Awards in 2003. The screenplay was developed at the Sundance Screenwriters Lab in Utah and won the Hartley-Merrill International Screenwriting Award presented to Deery at the Cannes Film Festival in 2001. The film was invited to be shown at many film festivals in 2003 to be in competition and or official selection, including Taormina, Italy first public screening, June 2003 Moscow International Film Festival, opening night film at the Galway Film Festival, Ireland, Montreal Film Festival, Hamburg Film Festival. It received an art house release in the United States but, so far, has not been released in the UK. Plot: Father Sweeney Patrick Casey, a gay Catholic priest living with HIV, commits suicide. His death leads local investigative journalist David Foley Jason Barry to write a story that publicly identifies Sweeney as having HIV. At the local seminary, two students near ordination are expelled because one, Daniel Jonathan Forbes, was seen leaving the room of the other, Niall Podgbehan. Niall is gay and Daniel is straight, and they engaged in no sexual activity, but were still expelled for the sake of appearances. Daniel returns home, where he is torn between his calling to the priesthood and his love for his ex-girlfriend Sinead Catherine Walker. Daniel meets with Foley, who writes a follow-up article exposing a covered-up AIDS protest that Sweeney had staged at the Vatican 3 years earlier, and Daniel's dismissal. He also alleges that cardinals close to the Pope are engaged in sexual relationships and calls on the Church to re-examine its celibacy requirement for priests. The local bishop, Michael Quinn Jim Norton, pressures the editor of the local paper not to run the second story. The editor acquiesces, but after reading the story sends it to the Irish Times, which prints it. The next day the bishop, his aide Foley, and Daniel appear together in a live television debate. Before the broadcast, agents of the church threaten to harm Foley's family unless he retracts his story on the air. Bishop Quinn offers to reinstate Daniel if Daniel is willing to admit he has been wrong. On air, Foley capitulates, but Daniel does not, asking the bishop if he himself practices celibacy. When the bishop refuses to answer, Father Sweeney's partner, former priest Matthew Francis John Lynch, confronts Quinn with Sweeney's suicide note, in which Sweeney discloses that Quinn and he had had an affair. At film's end, Daniel is back at home with Sinead. Cast: Jonathan Forbes, Forbes, Daniel McLaughlin, Hugh Bonneville, Needle, 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 Needle. Fr. Jack Dowling, Brenda Fricker, the 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 Fricker, 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 the Fricker, the Fricker, the Fricker, Fricker, Annie McLaughlin, Sean McGinley, Ginley, 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 Fr. Rector Cathal, Hugh Quarshie, 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 Fr. Joseph Innes, S.J., Innes, S.J., Jason Barry, Fintan Barry, and Barry, and Barry, and Barry, Fintan Barry, Fintan Barry, and Barry, Fintan Barry, and 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 Barry. David Foley, Podge Behan, and Behan, and Behan, and Behan, and Behan, Nile. Sean Boru, Suboru, Boru, 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 Father Murphy, Olivia Caffrey, Caffrey the Free, Caffrey, 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 Olivia Caffrey, Lise Foley, Tommy Carey, Billy Carey, Billy Carey, Billy Carey, me Carey, Billy 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 Carey, Tommy Carey, Billy Carey, me Carey, me Carey, Carey, me Carey, Sean Padraig Oloinsias, Patrick Lynch, 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 and there's a Lynch, there's a Lynch, there's a Lynch, and Patrick Lynch, and Lynch, Fr. Frank Sweeney, Carmel Cryan, and 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 Carmel Cryan, and 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 Cryan. Mrs. McDermott, Catherine Cusack, 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 Mary McLaughlin, Patrick Doyle, 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 Senior Umpire Hash 1, Patrick Duggan, and Duggan, and Duggan, and Duggan, and Duggan, and Duggan, Duggan, McDuggan, McDuggan, and Duggan, Mickey E. Christopher Dunn, Dunn, for Dunn, and for Dunn, and for Dunn, and for Dunn, 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 for Dunn, Dunn, so for Dunn, and for Dunn, so for Dunn, Dunn, so for Dunn, Dunn, so for Dunn, Fr. Martin Hennessy, Jim Dunn, and Dunn, and Dunn, and Dunn, Jim Dunn, 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 Jim Dunn, Jim Dunn, Dunn, Jim Dunn, Jim Dunn, 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 Dunn. Senior umpire #2, James Ellies, this is 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 Ellies, Ellies, this is Ellies, this is Ellies, this is Ellies, this is Ellies. Jim O'Brien, O'Brien, and O'Brien, and O'Brien, Anna Rose Fullen, Martha, Jim Howland, Jim Howland, Jim Howland, 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 Howland. Team manager, Jason Cavanaugh, 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 Cavanaugh. Liam, Sinead Keenan, Nin, Nin, Keenan, 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 Keenan. Magilla, John Lynch, 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 Lynch. Fr. Matthew Francis, Francis, Edward MacLiam, Liam, 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 Liam. Fitzpatrick, Owen McDonnell, Donald, 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 Owen McDonnell, Donald, 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 Donald. Noel, Fintan McKeown, 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 Own, McKeown, 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 McKeown. Monsignor Thomas, Kevin McMahon, Mahon, 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 Mahon. Ahon, Mahon, on, 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 on. Donald. Brendan McNamara, Namara, Declan, Justine Mitchell, 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 Mitchell. Assistant floor manager, Kieran Murtaugh, Murtaugh, Hog, Og, Hertog, Og, Hog, Og. Michael, Jim Norton, Emma Norton, Norton, Horton, 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 Horton. Bishop Michael Quinn, Niall O'Brien, Brian, 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 Ryan, 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 John, Chris O'Dowd, 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 James, Aidan O'Hara, Ara, the O'Hara, 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 Paul, Lillian Patton, 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 and Patton, 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 ten, and Patton, Pan, Patton, Pan, Pat, Molly, Sid Rainey, 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 Joe, Phil Roach, 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 Roach. Supporter, Fergal Spellman, 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 Min, Spellman, Spellman, Hellman, Spellman, 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 Hellman, Spellman, Spellman. TV director, Elaine Simmons, 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 Marie E. Harry Tobe, 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 High Tobe, 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 Retobe, Tobe, Tobe, Harry Tobe, 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 Father Doherty, Catherine Walker, 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 Ren Walker, 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 Sinead, Sinead, Nuala Walsh, 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 and a Walsh, a Walsh, a Walsh, a Walsh, a Walsh, a Walsh, as Walsh, as Walsh, a Walsh, as Walsh, as Walsh, as Walsh, as Walsh, 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 as Walsh, Walsh. Mrs. McGlynn. Release. The film got a limited U.S. theatrical release in December 2004 following its festival screenings. 2014 re-release. The film was relaunched at the Berlin International Film Festival in February 2014 by a new U.S. boutique sales company, Angel Grace Productions, headed by Michael Pfister. Reception. Awards and nominations.